everybody. It's your boy Raven Wolfgar, and it occurred to me last night after I had posted the video that I made, which I'm going to say I didn't turn the camera on because, well, I just kind of got up and haven't had my tea yet, so I decided not to do camera, but that's beside the point. Anyway, it occurred to me that I hadn't really clarified what I meant by my strategy. When I began the video, I was talking about how wizards could really kind of save themselves and start themselves on the right path. Number one, by going with OGL 1.0 as is, except to add the term irrevocable to it and leave it at that. That is, I know that's my hardline stance. I know that's the hardline stance of many others. We have more problems than just the morality clause that's placed in there. Naturally, none of us want people to make something that's going to be, that's going to make despicable content. We don't want that. Just as I don't want a bunch of National Socialist ideology in a game supplement, I also don't want a bunch of hard far left content in a supplement as well. I just want, personally, for me and my players, we just want good games, games that we can run and play, and that way they're open to anyone and everyone, and everyone's welcome at the table. We just kind of leave all the real world politics and religion and the truly divisive stuff at home. Now, that's that on that issue. But the next step I said was to include a copy of the basic rules for D&D in Hero Quest, and of course tell the player, now you can customize this game, and you'll get a lot more enjoyment out of it. And then if you want to take it to the next level, well, here's the 3 core books, and if you want to take it to the next level still, well, then you can use a battle mat and then kind of make your own stuff and use the miniatures from that game. Essentially, kind of building on something basic and expanding out from there. It just makes a lot more sense. It's also welcoming to a very much younger crowd, a crowd of maybe 9 or 10. But what I didn't do was I did not, there was something I left out. And in leaving it out, I think I probably dropped the ball on this, and I really need to bring it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to Drive Through RPG, and I'm going to show you something, because this is important that I show this, and I think many of you will understand what I'm saying when I say releasing everything, which they've already done to a degree. Releasing everything would be advantageous to them. Alright, so I'm having to kind of look this up right now, and I apologize. I should have had this one ready. I didn't, and that's entirely my fault. So I will be putting this up on screen very, very shortly. As soon as I find it, here we are. Bang. The 0 edition. So I'm going to put that up on screen now, and we're going to have a look. And there we go. So here it is. This is Drive Through RPG. This is the original D&D. It's also known as the White Box set. Now, this White Box set contained 3 booklets. This is one that I personally own in PDF. But I want to show you something. They have all this text here. If you read this, this is part of that whole morality clause thing. They recognize that some of the legacy content available on this website does not reflect the values of the Dungeons & Dragons franchise today. Some older content may reflect ethnic, racial, and gender prejudice, which were commonplace in American society at the time. These depictions were wrong then and they're wrong today. This content is presented as it was originally created because to do otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never happened. D&D teaches diversity is a strength, and we must strive to make our products as welcoming and inclusive as possible. This part of our work will never end. This is what we've been kind of up against lately, ladies and gentlemen. These this is, and it's not just on original D&D, which I'll show you in just a moment. Here's the D&D basic rule set for BX back in the day. And here we see it again. Here's the basic set player's manual from the BECME edition. There it is again. Let's see what else we got. The rule cyclopedia, which will give, if you want to get into basic expert companion masters in Immortal or BECME, this is going to be the book for you. And yes, you can get it in hardcover, softcover, whatever. It costs you about $35 for both the PDF and the hardcover. But here it is again. Let's just pick a gazetteer here. The Grand Duchy of Karamikos from 2nd edition. There it is again. The Northern Reaches. Here it is again. And you can see throughout, from the 0 edition, the original D&D, to the basic editions, basic expert editions, all the way up to BECME 1st and 2nd edition. Here it is. We keep getting this lecture every time we want to purchase one of the older modules. Is it any wonder some of us have gone for retro clones? And to give you an example of why I say that there's really nothing to worry about here, I'm going to bring you right over. Well, not there. Oh, I did have that ready, did I not? Here we go. As I said, I own this. This is 147 pages. I'm going to show you why. Because you have Volume 1, Men and Magic. Okay, now it doesn't say Women and Magic. However, that does not mean women were excluded. Again, this was coming hot off of the chainmail days, and women really didn't take much of an interest in the miniature war games back then. So they were still coming from a miniature, a miniatures and diorama kind of setting, and they were bringing fantasy into it, rather than just reenacting historic battles. But you also have Volume 2, there's Men and Magic here. Now that was a booklet in and of itself. Fighting Men includes the characters of elves and dwarves, even halflings. 3 main classes of characters: fighting men, magic users, clerics. But here's the thing, there was nothing in here that prevented women from joining. In fact, women did. Volume 2, Monsters and Treasure. Volume 2 of 3 booklets. So if we go back to that last booklet, see if there are page numbers. Okay, 34 pages, not including these two. So 36 pages. These were a few 36-page, 35-page booklets, 39 in some. You had a lot of tables here. Then Volume 3, The Wilderness Adventures. So the Underworld, distribution of monsters and treasures, move turner in the Underworld, Underworld monsters, monster determination level, monster matrix, so on and so forth. You get the idea. And this was how the dungeons were sort of originally created. Now, looking at these PDFs are super, super cheap. You can pick them up very inexpensively, and you get them as originally written. And it's very cool stuff. But I think the real problem comes in that in this, oops, wrong window. There we go. The real problem comes in this. So when I said drop the lecturing, I'm talking about dropping this altogether. Because we are not children. Where are the adults in the room? Well, it's us. And there have been some idiots out there. Sure, I'm going to say there are still some idiots in the old school. Just don't know any better. Or if they do, they don't exhibit that kind of they don't exhibit the kind of sentiment that maybe not everything is a test. As a matter of fact, the real test comes in you creating your character, you playing the game, and seeing what keeps your character alive through all the different various conflicts that they come up against. Okay? So, there it is. So the first part is dropping this. The second part is that they have a real moneymaker on their hands, in my opinion, by doing one simple thing, and that would be to, let me just go back here. I mean, look at the catalog they have. This catalog is extensive. They could take this, send these to print, and the next thing you know, game stores could have a little bit of original D&D. They could have a little bit of basic and expert BECME. They could have a little bit of everything and see what sells. And if 5th or 6th or 7th edition sells better than all the rest, well, then they can de-emphasize that to another part of the store and have you order it through them. And that's entirely possible. Now, why does this matter? Because right here, this is what brings, I know there are edition wars and things like that, but this is what brings old school and new school players together. Let me tell you something. I'm a guy who started in 2nd edition AD&D. And I got to, that was where I stood for a long time. Man, I love 2nd edition. 2nd edition was the thing for me. However, what I came to find out later was that basic expert rules, BECME rules, were actually really simple, and they built and built and built, often to a ridiculous degree. The D&D of the 1970s, very simple rules, mechanically balanced, and there are plenty of clones out there. And selling these books, now you can this is not going to hurt the secondary market, not at all, because you can put in there that they're 2023 printings or whatever, and that way collectors with a discerning eye will know. Collectors who have the original stuff still will probably be buying these as well, because now they want something that's a little newer, a little more durable to take down off their shelves and use for play, rather than having to have a bunch of electronic devices at the table to read these things. This is an addition, or this is an idea, and this is what they called the white box edition. So when you hear terms like white box, this is what they're referring to. I wonder, there it is. Oh, no. I don't know what's going on with my OBS, everybody. There it is. So when they're talking about white box editions, this is what they're referring to. These 3 booklets came in a white box. This was the cover of the white box, and the covers of the books looked like this. And that's what TSR stood for, Tactical Studies Rules. This was what original Dungeons and Dragons looked like. And when you see stuff like Swords and Wizardry, White Box, this is what they're trying to emulate. White Box, fantastic medieval adventure game. This is what they're trying to emulate. In fact, those books are sold very inexpensively, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like Frog God Games still has their sale on the Swords and Wizardry Complete box set, which, of course, mimics this set plus some more stuff. And it's stuff I would highly recommend for you if you're looking to get into original D&D. For those who like Basic Expert, there's Basic Fantasy and Old School Essentials. For those who like OSRIC, or First Edition AD&D, there's OSRIC. For those of you who like Second Edition, there's also For Golden Glory. And yes, you can still get these very things right here. You can still get them. They're still available. Right there. But it's totally up to you. Personally, I would go for the retro clones because, well, they tend, also a lot of the retro clones, like For Golden Glory, OSRIC, Basic Fantasy, etc., they tend to clean up those rules a little more. They could. And, of course, right now I'm not interested in giving Wizards of the Coast any more money. However, with that being said, Wizards, this is your opportunity. What you don't understand is this is a marketing opportunity. You promised us, when 5th edition was on the way, that you were interested in bringing old school and new school gamers together. Because, rising tides raise all ships, right? So, put this stuff in print. Put it in the gaming stores. Don't charge an arm and a leg for it. Stop trying to demonize the legacy and learn to embrace it. And what you will see is a true revival, which is what you need right now. You need that revival, and let's face it, you need us far more than we need you. And if you doubt me, let me show you something. Just give me just a moment, everyone. Bear with me. Because I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you all something. That's going to take a minute. There we go. Now, let's go here. Let's kill that window capture. And I'm going to add another one. This is my D&D folder right here. That's just D&D. I do have some 5th edition stuff in there as well. And I don't have much in the way of 3.5. I got a lot of 4th edition. Got some 5th edition stuff in here too. And let me just show you 1st edition. Just some of this stuff right here. Monster Manual, Player's Handbook, DM's Guide. I got stuff like this. Secrets of the Black Circle. This is a supplement. Oh, hey, by Jason Vay, no less. Not published by TSR Rules, and it was free. For the Age of Conan Book 3. Haha. Jason, my man in Texas, created this. 49 pages of stuff for just Conan the Barbarian RP in D&D. Selected completely at random there. I've got legends and lore. I've got all kinds of stuff in here. What about second edition? Well, there you go. I've spent a lot of time uh, getting inexpensive little PDFs. Back me. Here we go. And some of it was free. Like Wrath of the Immortals. Wrath of the Immortals was 100% free. You can do this too, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to play the older sets, that's fine. If you want to play 5th edition, that's fine. But Wizards, I'm telling you right now, if you want a true revival of your brand after the beating you've made it take, I know that you're not interested in selling books. You're interested in validation and microtransactions and anything that will absolutely keep your iron grip on that. I know that's what you're after, but it's untenable. And it will lead to your disaster. It will lead to your ruin. If you haven't learned from the mistakes of TSR yet, I highly suggest that you start looking into its history and understand exactly what you're doing. Turn from your ways now, Wizards. And people, in the meantime, if you want, official D&D, if that's what you have to have, like you're just not really good with box, the white box and all that. If official D&D is what you really want, I do suggest going to the older rule sets and just having a look. At least original D&D, the basic expert rule sets, BECME, first and second edition. I recommend you check those out because those are the ones I grew up on. And guess what? Plenty of people like us, ready, willing, and able to help you in whatever way we can. Because we love this game more than we love a brand. We love this game more than we love a logo. We love this game more than we love just about anything else. And there are plenty of alternatives, and we're willing to steer you toward those alternatives. But we'd kind of rather see you play something that you really like. So if your thing is sci-fi, there's a Classic Traveler, Amazing Adventures. In fact, I recommend Amazing Adventures for just about everything. There's Savage Worlds, The Wretched Verse by the Red Room. If you haven't looked at that, that's something to look into. If you like horror, there's 10 Candles. There's Night Shift. There's Lamentations of the Flame Princess, which can kind of do it pretty well in my opinion. If you like those like Jim Henson IPs, Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, that exists. You can do that. Just remember, only one person needs the books. And a lot of them are free. A lot of them are very inexpensive. There are many more benefits to you to go toward those than there are to run to Wizards of the Coast. I always recommend buying third party. And if Wizards of the Coast gets a cut, just understand you're doing what you love. You're supporting those third parties, those independents, more than you don't like Wizards. Okay? So that's everything I got. I'm sorry it took so long for me to clarify that one point. But Wizards, you need a revival. You need it now. And guess what? There are still those of us in the OSR who are just waiting in the wings for you to make an about face. And when you do, we will be there to help you. All right? All right, everybody. I want you to take care. Also, if I don't make videos for a couple of days, it's because I found out my dad's in the hospital. It may be a heart issue. And I'm kind of closely monitoring that right now. So if I don't make videos for a few days, if I end up not doing a live stream this weekend, understand it's because of, my family's 1,300 miles away, and I'm having to kind of keep tabs on things, okay? So if any of you do prayer or, thoughts and prayers and stuff like that, I would truly appreciate it for my dad. My dad is he's a personal hero of mine. And yeah, it's when I heard about it yesterday, I sat kind of bolt upright and was like, "Wait, what?" It came right after I made the video last night. Okay, it was quite a gut punch. I heard he's gone through a stress test. He says it wasn't fun, so it sounds like he's doing okay. But any continued thoughts or prayers would be greatly appreciated. I thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscriptions, all of that. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, let's hold the line. Let's not back down. And if Wizards decides that they're going to continue their course, well, then we'll let them burn it to the ground. Okay? Thank you so much. Love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always play what lights you up, and as always, play on.